Welcome to the desk. Dr. Eugene Cherny we're going to talk a little bit about your body sculpting and plastic surgery, things like that. But before we get to the topic at hand here, Dr. Cherny, something that is just overwhelmed Twitter and Facebook over the past day or two.
Yes, it has.
Happens to be Jason's favorite topic.
The favorite topic of a lot of people. Kim
Kardashian's arse. Of course, we're talking about the fact that she's on the cover of a paper magazine.
Paper magazine, and finally she reveals all after seeing just like long shots and so forth for all these years, and so everybody's talking about it. But they did admit that it was Photoshopped.
Yeah, this one here, this picture you see here, it was Photoshopped for her waist to make her waist look a little thinner, and then the picture that they show. I don't understand what the big deal is of the picture of showing the back end of Kim. Here it is. You want to see it? Here it is, folks. They don't know this in the back, but there. What's the big deal?
That's no big deal at all. I think that's absolutely fine.
It's natural, wouldn't you say?
No. You know, 100 years ago.
But here it is. Obviously it's so big it can't even fit on the screen. But that's the photo that we're talking about.
I mean, she would have gotten into a sideshow for this 100 years ago. But this is it's really very large.
Well, we've talked about how this is kind of a new fascination where the injections and things like that, but this is obviously over the top, looking at someone who's given birth with a waist that skinny and a rump that smooth and big. You know it's got to be fixed. It's
got to be fixed, because to have such a deep waist and such a long waist, that's the typical giveaway that you've had a Brazilian butt lift. Now, she said that she doesn't have butt implants, and she said she'd get x-rays to prove that she didn't have butt implants, and that's true. She did not have implants. She had fat transfer, which is the big hot thing in plastic surgery.
Okay.
So all that fat out of her waist, all that fat that's like kind of above the butt and around the sides, the love handles, that was all taken out and re-injected. And I would say it's probably been done several times, actually.
Wow.
But that photo is not real.
Probably not, because that waist looks so small that's probably unrealistic after having a child.
Well,
but she may have had a tummy tuck though to make that waist small.
When they transfer the fat like that, do the fat cells continue to live?
Yes, they do.
They do?
Oh, this is the hot thing. We actually even think that they're stem cells and that they become the tissue that we inject them to. That there's a certain percentage of the fat that has stem cells in it. So this is a whole new area of stem cell research, actually.
Well, her thing that she claims she does is she wears a corset every day to teach her waist to be small, like they did back in, way back in the day. But you're still not going to look like that. I mean, that's a terrible thing to show kids that think that's reality. It's not reality.
Well, the problem is, and many commentators have mentioned that it's basically impossible to meet modern standards of beauty without plastic surgery, and that is terrible. That shouldn't be the way it is, but unfortunately, we're not yet in that time where we are judged by the content of our character. It's still, your appearance still makes too big of a deal, and this happens all the time. There's just so much unfairness in life, because if you're taller, you get paid more at your job. The better looking you are, the more opportunities you get. This is just the realities of life. It's not, and it's probably not going to change anytime soon. And that's one of the reasons that I really like my job, because I feel when I do plastic surgery, I'm kind of like the equalizer. Some people get lucky at the DNA lottery when they're born, and some don't. And so I'm there to try to make the difference, try to make a more level, fair playing field for people.
Okay, and that's something else we're going to talk about here today too, is because you said that some people are looking outside the borders here and trying to get some things done.
Oh, they are. This is another hot topic, is surgical tourism. And it's not just plastic surgery. I've had patients that have gone to Tijuana to have their gastric bypass surgery done because it's so expensive in the States.
Oh, really? You're kidding.
People go, there are actually companies, especially these furniture companies in North and South Carolina, they actually give an employee like money to go to India or somewhere to get their hip replacement done because it's so much cheaper there. They pay their transportation, they give them a vacation, and they give them a bonus when they get back, and there's still about $20,000 ahead, the company, on that hip replacement they have to pay for.
Wow.
So this is something that's occurring at all levels. Now, the problem with surgical tourism is that I have at least 3 patients that immediately come to mind that had botched jobs.
Sure.
And everybody's been watching Botched, the reality show, and most of the plastic surgeons will see some botched jobs like that, and some of them we can fix and some of them we can't. But the problem is, if you have a complication and your surgeon is $1,000 plane fare away, what are you going to do? You're not going to go see, you're not going to pay all this money to fly back and forth, have treatment of your complications. All that money you save, you have lost, and then you pay that much over again in additional fees to fix the disaster.
So then they come and see you.
That happened to me. A poor lady. She was actually very nice, and she went to a place where she thought it was going to be, you know, plastic surgery and a vacation, and she would have a nice recovery on the beach. And this is how they sell these things, and it was a good deal, but she had all kinds of terrible problems. And by the time, you know, she ended up paying for the thing 2 or 3 times. By the time she flew back down there, and then finally I ended up taking over the case. I mean, she ended up paying for it 3 times, probably what I would have charged her actually. So.
That's crazy.
This is the problem with surgical tourism. So it is so tempting though, and sometimes you get lucky. It's just, but down there, you know, there's not the same. How can I say it?
Standards?
The same consistency. There's a bigger bell curve. There's here in the United States, you're at least going to be average because we're so tightly regulated. But you go down to say Costa Rica, you know, might have some that are really good, but you might have some that are really bad. And then you know, they don't have like malpractice lawsuits like down there like they have here. You can't get recourse. You're just screwed.
See,
you know?
you have to remember, there's always somebody at the bottom of the class.
Yes. And well, this was our joke in medical school, actually. He says, well, if you know, what do they call the person who graduates at the bottom of our med school class? And the answer to the joke is doctor. It's like, no.
Well, let me ask you this: do you start getting busier this time of year because it's winter and people can kind of hide some things a little better?
Great time to do lipo and all kinds of things. Yeah, you can hide it. You can hide even some quite large breast implants under like a nice loose fitting woolen sweater. Yeah, there's a good time to hide.
Yeah, but if you have them, why would you hide them?
Some people want to hide them, some people don't.
Well,
Okay.
for recovery purposes.
They want to ease
things like that, probably.
ease into it a little bit.
Yeah, that's right. Well, there is actually when you have a change in body image, there is about a 2-month psychological transition period where, you know, you feel strange and it feels kind of alien to you, and about 2 months it feels like it's your own. And that's one of the things we do in our visits after surgery is we help people through that psychological transition.
So you do have a follow-up after care after you have the surgery.
Actually, yeah, I probably do more than the average guy, but I just kind of like it. Because I see, you know, the stresses that people go through after surgery, and it takes a while to go through it.
And that's your work.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I got to make sure it turned out
Make sure
well.
it's okay. Yeah.
I got to know I'm doing the right thing. Exactly.
All right. All right. Now, people need to get a hold of you. What's the easiest way to get a hold of you for anything you need done?
HeartlandPS.com, and I'm still in the traditional phone book and all that kind of stuff. Or if you search me online, you'll get my phone number. But HeartlandPS.com.
If you haven't been out there, the place is amazing, easy to get to right off of 35.
And the people are so nice. I mean, that's what struck me the most. Yeah.
Now, if somebody wants this,
That's a big deal.
Again, we're going to go off script here a little bit, but if somebody wants to come over and just see what you guys have, can they just come in and get a tour?
Heck yeah.
Okay. All right. So if you want to check the place out, it is amazing what you have over there.
We'd love to show the place off.
Wonderful. There you go. Well, thank you, sir. Well done. It is 10 minutes before 8 o'clock. We'll be right back. You're watching Great Day Live.